Lincy Jacob is a criminal defense attorney and a former Albany County Assistant District Attorney. She's here to talk more about that. And, you know, Lincy, just trying to get your mind around this, an 18-year-old to be charged as a juvenile. How does that happen?
Well, in the criminal realm, just because you're 18 doesn't necessarily mean that you're quote-unquote adult. To be classified as a youthful offender, you have to be under 19. So 18, 17, 16-year-olds who are legally charged as adults in criminal court will have the benefit of having a youthful offender status potentially adjudicated after their conviction. And
does it sometimes come down to the crime at hand as to how they would be charged then? I mean, what usually dictates, you know, to a district attorney what type of charges, if they'll get youthful offender status or not?
Well, youthful offender status is mandatory if you're 16, 17, or 18 years old on a misdemeanor, and it's youthful offender eligible if you're 16, 17, or 18 years old on a felony. And that's actually up to the judge to determine whether or not that individual will qualify for youthful offender status. Sorry, let me strike that. It's mandatory as long as you have no prior convictions. If you have prior misdemeanor arrests, you might have what we say burned your YO eligibility before.
All right. Now, you know, we also heard today that the sheriff's saying that there could be potentially 240 other young people out there, you know, who may have had a hand in being responsible for this. There could be endless arrests coming. It could be endless, you know, youthful offenders. This could be a very large undertaking for the district attorney there. When you see something like this, I'm not sure we have seen something like this where so many people could be facing charges. Do you sometimes look at, I don't know, a mass way of handling the charges or holding them accountable in some way? Whether it be to have them all come in to do some sort of, I don't know, public service.
Right, some sort of community service. Yeah. It would be hard to actually file charges against all 300 individuals because I'm assuming all 300 that were there did not post pictures on social media sites. I could be wrong, but my assumption is that there's a handful of people who actually have posted on social media, and then the rest may have been there, but there's not enough probable cause to arrest them for these crimes.
Okay, and then we'll finish up with this. You know, we talk about youthful offender status or being charged as an adult. What does the difference mean to these individuals who are facing charges? What changes for them being youthful offender unless, or had it been an adult? What do they see as a difference for themselves?
Oh, it's a great difference. If you are adjudicated as a youthful offender, you have the benefit of not having a criminal record at the end of your case. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your case is going to appear on your rap sheet down the road. So when you're applying for jobs down the road, you can say, no, I've never been convicted of a crime. And if you are subsequently getting arrested again, that first arrest won't count against you. Further, if there's a jail sentence, the youthful offender status, if it's a misdemeanor, is half the jail sentence. So criminal trespass is an A misdemeanor. That's punishable by up to 1 year in jail. If you are adjudicated a youthful offender, it would only be 6 months that you would have to serve in jail. If you're charged with a felony and you're adjudicated as a youthful offender, the most you can do is 1 1/3 to 4, as opposed to, you know, 10 years in state prison.
All right, so certainly a major difference for them getting a youthful offender status as opposed to being charged as an adult.
Very much so.
Lincy Jacobs, thanks so much for joining us tonight to kind of clear some of this up for us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now let's try to clear something else up, the weather question, what it's going to be like for the weekend. Steve LaPointe joining us now, and he's going to tell us what we can expect, and I'm having a feeling it's some pretty good news. Steve?
Yeah, overall, Jerry, it does look nice. We'd like to clear some of these low clouds out, which have been very persistent and stubborn today, and they're not really showing too much sign of budging this evening. I think they'll thin for a time later tonight and then might redevelop. So it's possible Saturday morning will start off fairly gray, and then we'll brighten things up after that. We're dry, though. It's not a cloud deck that produces rainfall. 57 or so in the capital region by 8 o'clock. Upper 40s tonight. Again, I think the clouds will have a tendency to thin, which will allow some fog to form, and then they might redevelop towards morning. So I'm going for kind of a cloudy morning and then a brighter afternoon. Temperatures should make a solid run at 70, Jerry, coming up on Saturday.